There have been some classic battles between Argyle and Ipswich over the years. Last season's title race went down to the very final game, and there have been some great goals, some wonderful memories, and a little bit of needle too. Will today produce more of the same and continue the trend that matches have gone before? Hello, good afternoon. I am Erin Black and you are watching the Argyle TV pre-match show here at Home Park. Argyle take on Ipswich this afternoon for the 8th time in the last 4 seasons. Now, the last couple of meetings here have produced memorable Argyle wins, and there hasn't been an away win in this fixture for over 4 years. But with Ipswich scrapping it out for promotion to the Premier League and Argyle still looking over their shoulder at those relegation places, today will be quite a tough task for those men in green. So much to get through over the next hour or so, including a chat with former Argyle and Ipswich legend David Norris. We will have it all for you on Argyle TV throughout the afternoon, and don't worry, because match passes and audio passes can be bought from the website online now. It's pafc.co.uk. Head over because you do not want to miss out on this one. And I'm very pleased to say that to join me and help guide you through the afternoon's fixture is none other than former Argyle striker Ian Stonebridge, who far more sensibly than me remembered to bring a waterproof coat rather than a regular one this afternoon. Ian, how are you?
Yeah, not too bad, thanks. I think it's going to get a good test. There's some big drops coming down off the top of this stand here. So, yeah.
Well, thank you for being here. You've been on kind of commentary duty more recently rather than being here pitch side, so I can only apologise that the weather not fallen in your favour today. It's going to be a good game, I think. Really exciting one.
Yeah, it should be. Obviously, you know, when you have kind of competition against a team over a number of seasons, and you know, that direct competition that Argyle had with Ipswich last year, I think kind of builds this into, you know, a little bit of a friendly rivalry perhaps, and you know, by nature of that, both being in similar situations, Argyle obviously came out on top in terms of the league table.
Yeah.
Ipswich have done really well at the start of this season, so yeah, it should be a good battle.
Yeah, I think Argyle fans were wanting to be reminding Ipswich of that win last season, especially today. And of course, teams are always chasing points, but both teams here really looking for those points today, but for very different reasons.
Yeah, absolutely. Ipswich, you know, clearly still in the hunt for automatic promotion. You know, battling against teams with huge budgets there at the top of the league, and for Argyle, as you mentioned as well, those points would really be crucial. Be really nice to try and start to build a bit of a cushion to those relegation spaces, and yeah, fingers crossed we can make a start on that this afternoon.
Yeah, we know Ipswich made a really good start to their season here in the Championship. Of course, other teams at the top now really jostling for those top places and those automatic positions. How have you found their form has progressed over the season?
It's been really impressive. You know, you don't necessarily expect teams to go up a division and still compete right at the top, as they have done. They had a fantastic start to the season, and I think that probably gave them an awful lot of confidence. You know, lots of the players from last year actually for them have remained integral parts of their team and their success, but they've also added to that, you know, and added to it recently as well. That's really helped them maintain that push.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Ian. And as well as we mentioned before, hearing from David Norris in about 20 minutes, we'll also have the thoughts of both coaches. That's Ian Foster and Kieran McKenna. And we'll also be having a look at the incredible work done by the Argyle under-18s in winning their league last season. Before any of that, though, and before the rain completely soaks the team sheet, let's have a quick look at the teams then for this afternoon, starting like we always do with Argyle, of course. In goal today, Connor Hazard, Jordan Houghton wearing the captain's armband, Julio Plegazuelo, Ryan Hardy, Morgan Whittaker, Mikael Miller, Lewis Gibson, Darko JB, Adam Randall, Brendan Galloway and Matthew Soranola. And on the Argyle bench, Mike Cooper, Barley Mumba, Lino Souza, Joe Edwards, Mustafa Bundu, Alfie Devine, Ben Wayne, Ashley Phillips and Adam Forshaw. Mike Cooper, a name we haven't seen on the team sheet for a little while, Ian.
Yeah, it's brilliant to see Mike back in contention, and I think that gives a boost to the whole squad. You know, Connor Hazard's done really well this season. He's if you like, come in as perhaps an unknown quantity, but his performances have been really good. So Mike will have a battle on his hands to get back in the starting 11, I'm sure.
Absolutely, and of course we're seeing Forshaw included in there. He's been out for a little while as well. Let me just have a little look back again. I mean, of the starting lineup there, I mean, we know Darko JB in particular had a really good game last weekend.
Yeah, definitely. It's no real surprise to see an unchanged starting 11. Obviously, the slightly different midfield role that JB was given last weekend, he absolutely excelled in and was a key feature of Argyle's excellent play. Had a hand in both goals as well. So, hopefully he can bring that form back to home park and really put on a good display.
Yeah, and Morgan Whittaker, of course, got to mention him in the starting lineup, as we would expect. 2 goals in the last 2 against Ipswich for him, so I'm sure he'll be looking for a third today. Yeah,
absolutely. I think, key for Argyle today will be to get the ball into our attacking players in good areas and then get as much support around them as possible. And, they've shown us time and time again they've got the quality. So, again, with that service, hopefully we can see some goals for Argyle today.
And if we just go back to touch on the Middlesbrough game as well, Ian, the pressing of Argyle during that I think was particularly impressive. And, would you chalk that up to the midfield being, in particularly good form?
It's really important. Yeah, organisation is key, and the midfield are obviously kind of an integral part of any kind of press. I think the key bit for the team to sort out, and that Ian Foster would have been working on, is those triggers. So when do you decide when to press? What causes a press to happen? Sometimes it might be a bad touch from an opponent, or a stray pass, or a backwards pass. The key thing then is going as a team, going together, and like you say, the ability of the midfield players to then get close to their opponents and put them under real pressure is really important.
Yeah, I think that's what Ian Foster is going to want to be seeing again today. Let's look at our opposition though. It is Ipswich this afternoon. On screen for you now, in goal for them, Hladky, Leif Davis, Sam Morsey, their captain, Luke Wolfenden, Connor Chaplin, Cameron Burgess, Amari Hutchinson, Jeremy Sarmiento, Kiefer Moore, Lewis Travis and Axel Tuanzebe. And on their subs bench, Christian Walton, Harry Clark, George Edmondson, Marcus Harness, Dominic Ball, Jack Taylor, Ali Al-Hamadi, Caden Jackson and Cameron Humphreys. Now, Ian, we know Ipswich are going to be a formidable opponent today. Looking at the lineup they've put out, how are you feeling about that?
Yeah, it's always going to be a strong lineup from Ipswich. They've obviously had a couple of injuries from last week, so they have been forced into a couple of changes. Broadhead and Burns, who have both been really influential from wide areas, dropping out. They've got able deputies in Hutchison and Sarmiento coming in. So that quality that they've got, they are an attacking force. So it's really important for Argyle that they continue kind of the good work that they did up at Middlesbrough last week in a defensive sense. Yeah,
and Connor Chaplin came off in their last game too. But Kiefer Moore, very good form, goal scoring wise.
Absolutely, he's a different proposition, so obviously much more of a physical presence, so he does give Ipswich that other option, perhaps to go slightly longer, and they'll presumably look to get the ball into him and get in and around him. Connor Chaplin's very, very quick and sharp in those kind of areas between the lines, so if they can't build their play up in terms of a passing style, they'll certainly have that option from Kiefer Moore, and he's an experienced player, he's played at a high level, he'll be a real threat.
Yeah, and they have a habit of scoring slightly later in games, which of course is not something you want to happen anyway, but especially not something you want to happen at home park, because it really kind of deflates the atmosphere, doesn't it, when we've seen that happen before?
Yeah, it does. I think Ipswich and the manager in particular pride themselves on being a hard running side, a hard working side. They cover a lot of distance, and you have to be really fit as a team to be able to do that right across 90 minutes plus. So that's something I think that Argyle will expect. Ipswich will work incredibly hard today and make it difficult for us.
Yeah. They also are, they have the ability to concede goals as well, like any club, and that's probably something that Argyle are going to need to capitalise on. I think maybe this afternoon it feels like a draw is probably a win obviously is the best expectation, but a draw maybe feels a little bit more reasonable. Do you think if that is the case, a more high-scoring draw might, be an option?
Yeah, I think we obviously always hope for goals, for a nice, entertaining game. There's no doubt Ipswich are the favourites coming into the game from, the position and their form in the league. But equally, Argyle have been so good here at home park that, they'll go into the game with some confidence, particularly after the fantastic result away at Middlesbrough last week.
Yeah, we're going to see, of course, Michael Cooper on the bench, but Conor Hazard remains, kind of the number one goalkeeper pick here as well. How important is it for him to try and, if he can, maintain that clean sheet here at home park this afternoon? I think that would be quite a big morale boost, wouldn't it?
It would. I think getting into good habits as a team and as a defensive unit is vital. they'll take great confidence from the performance and the clean sheet last week, and fingers crossed they can carry that into today's game. The competition element is always there as a footballer, and goalkeepers in particular. I think there's only one that gets picked, obviously. So that often you're either in or you're out. At the moment, Hazard's in possession of the shirt. I know Ian Foster's spoken. He's been really happy with his performances. And Mike needs to re-establish himself, re-establish his fitness in terms of matches, and I think that's something that will naturally take a bit of time, but it's fantastic to have the option of those two goalkeepers in the Argyle squad. Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's the team news for you this afternoon. We'll head inside the dressing room now and speak with Argyle head coach Ian Foster, who had a full week to prepare for this game, coming off an impressive away win 7 days ago.
The first thing is we gave the players a little bit of a breather. So the schedule was to allow the players some time at home, so a lot of the players directly from the Middlesbrough game went to see the families, which was nice for them. So they were able to switch off and just have some well-needed R&R. And then they've been bright this week since they've come back in. Look really refreshed, look really focused. So it's been nice to get some more work done on the training ground, which has been almost impossible during the run that we've had. So yeah, it's been a really positive week.
Yeah, and on that, and actually Middlesbrough came after a really mental period of matches, but a few sort of months in, a little bit of extra time on the pitch, especially this week. Are you beginning to kind of see more and more your style of play, or the style of play that you want to implement?
I think so. I think it was important for us first and foremost to establish a structure to play from, particularly out of possession, and that's not always going to work, but we need to give ourselves a platform to be able to win games of football from. And at times when you're conceding heavily, it's very difficult to do that. And we've limited some excellent teams in recent weeks to very few opportunities. But you've got to get the balance right, and last Saturday we did. West Bromwich Albion we didn't, and that's just football, and we're here to get better and learn and develop. I felt there was context behind the West Bromwich Albion performance as a whole. I felt it was one game too far for a group of players, and we suffered. And it's not nice losing games of football. It's not nice losing games of football in that manner. But the players showed character. We only had a few days lead into the Middlesbrough game, whereas they had a full week. But I felt like there was a little bit of pressure on the players to raise themselves and put in a performance worthy of the club and the supporters. And I thought the bounce back was terrific. It was probably our most complete performance on Saturday.
And as someone who is, a coach and loves having time with players to be able to develop them, how it sounds easy to say now, but how crucial is having valuable time with them to prepare for specific matches and to dissect and to improve rather than just rolling? Yeah,
I mean, I think ideally, if you ask any coach, they want a huge block of work in the beginning of the season, pre-season, in order to establish your playing style and principles. So for a coach coming in January, it's quite hard to do that. So you've got to do some of it bit by bit, and that's why sometimes our performances aren't complete performances. It's very nice when they do come off, but like I say, we had to start somewhere, and we've started from a structure where we're trying to get to a place where we're really difficult to beat, because we know that we carry that threat the other way. And like I say, last Saturday we managed that really well throughout the game, with 17 shots in the first half, and limiting the opposition to no shots on target in the game is a perfect away performance, and we've got to take that momentum into the home game now against one of the favourites to get promoted. So again, it's another wonderful challenge for us, one we'll embrace, one we're looking forward to. But the games come thick and fast for us at the moment, and just coincidentally they're coming against really strong and top opposition.
It's been a pretty hectic schedule as of late, Ian, as we well know from those 3 consecutive home games only a couple of weeks ago. How important is it for the squad to get, that kind of well-deserved R&R, as Ian Foster put it?
Yeah, I think the rest and recovery time is vital. They'll have plenty of data, I'm sure, on the players' exertions, their training load, the distances they've covered, their heart rate data, all of that stuff, which they'll be using to make decisions about, how much training to do in the meantime. So yeah, it's important physically, but also I think psychologically. And I think certainly coming off the back of the win last weekend, it's great for them today to have that full week leading into today's game.
Yeah, it's interesting you mentioned psychologically as well, because it's lots of games, but it was lots of difficult games. I mean, if you look at the last 4 home matches, they've been against sides in the top 6 of the league, which would be difficult for anyone. But when you have them all kind of clustered together like that, I imagine it's quite easy to get disheartened if you end up with a couple of bad results on the bounce like we did. Would it be difficult, do they need a home performance of success? We've had the away one, which is obviously fantastic, but do you think they need like a successful home performance now to really, emphasise that?
Yeah, I think that would be great. We talked about that busy spell. The Leeds Cup game going to extra time didn't help things at all. But yeah, the last performance here was a bit lacklustre. I'm sure the players will not have that in their minds, but they'll want to, as you say, put on a really good show today. Show their intent to go out and really take the game to Ipswich, and I think that's important, as you say, to do. Here at Home Park, which over the last few years has been a fantastic place for Argyle, both in terms of performances but results as well.
Mm-hmm. I think when we had Mark Edworthy on a couple of weeks ago talking about one of the fixtures, I can't even remember which one now because there were so many, he talked about it being a big sculpt to get if they managed it, and I think that's the same today with Ipswich. If Argyle did manage to pull off a win, momentous.
Yeah, it would be, but equally Argyle have put on some good performances across this year against some of the teams that were well fancied, and I don't think it's out of the question for Argyle to go and really put pressure on Ipswich today, have a nice positive performance, go and play their football and get hopefully plenty of attempts on goal and really carry on that momentum from last weekend. Yeah. Yes, Ipswich's league position tells you that they're a good team, and I think their manager has been talking about this quite extensively in this league. There's often surprise results that every weekend there are teams win that you don't necessarily expect to, and so maybe Argyle can be that team today. Yeah,
very true. And of course, there's no way anyone here is going to forget that Argyle did triumph on top of Ipswich last season anyway, so that must count for something. You are watching Argyle TV, and we are building up to all the pre-match action happening here, and you can get your streaming passes online now if you haven't already. I've got Pilgrim Pete as an umbrella for, he's changed it, Pete. Here we go. Right, okay. Pilgrim Pete acting as an umbrella for me this afternoon. Today, a familiar face for both Argyle and Ipswich supporters in attendance. David Norris played over 250 times for Argyle, winning promotion with the team back in 2004 alongside Ian. He also played 4 seasons at Portman Road and was made captain of Ipswich during his time there. He's back at Home Park today with Sky Bet as a thank you for supporters for the generosity they showed him a few weeks ago. Now, Argyle TV's Charlie Price caught up with him today to find out why he wanted to say thanks. Umbrella, Pete, umbrella.
Yeah, Erin, I'm here with David Norris, an Argyle and Ipswich legend. I'm going to put you in that category for both. Okay. But we want to claim you as our own more.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. I'm not sure they would. Some would there. I mean, I wasn't there as long, but I did actually enjoy my time there overall. So yeah, I'll take that all day long.
Before we get stuck into Argyle memories, one of the big reasons why you're here is because you're down with Sky Bet, and you are giving away pasties.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When in Devon, do
something like that.
Exactly that.
Yeah, that's it. That's the whole reason it was the pasties. But yeah, no, I'm down for the game. It's nice. It's two of my former teams that I've got a lot of time and memories of, good times for both. So that's nice. And yeah, and with Sky Bet, I had a financial situation where I had some of my money from football, my earnings taken from me. So I was trying to raise some money by selling a few shirts to pay for solicitors and courts costs. It's expensive. That was fine. And then one day I thought, I tried to justify it to myself. I put a medal up thinking, it was just needed. And the fans, initially there was a backlash of, why are you doing that? You can't sell your medal. So I explained my reasons for doing that. And then I just got a load of support. And there was a guy, James, Plymouth fan, said, we're going to put up a crowdfunding page for you. And I was like, no, honestly, it's fine. Someone will do a buyback for me. It's okay. I didn't want the fuss. And he was like, well, look, I've done it anyway. And that, we don't want you to be in this situation. We want to try and help. So and then it just exploded. It really took off. Fans from my other ex-clubs, Ipswich fans, Portsmouth, Leeds, I know have been involved. A lot of Plymouth fans were brilliant. And then fans from other clubs. I know there was a guy from Stoke who's done a fair bit. And yeah, it just went a bit mental. And they were brilliant because I wouldn't have been able to pay the solicitors' fees. I'd have had to pay it over time, even with them selling the medal. This allowed me to pay it straight away, and now the case is progressing, and we'll see what happens with that. And then Sky Bet said, I'm sure we'd love to give something back, and I said, yeah. I said, if I managed to get some money back, I'd love to do something. And they said, well, in the meantime, how about you do something with us and Argyle, and we'll match what they raised for you, the fans, in giveaway of pasties and other foods on the day. You come down for the day. And I thought, well, you know what, if it's something little I can give back, and just means I can come down and do that and help with it all, then absolutely. And that's how it come about.
Yeah, I mean, it's come about obviously in a really bad personal situation for you. And I suppose, seeing the way in which supporters of all your old clubs and beyond have seen it and thought, well, we don't want to leave you in that situation. As well as the money being raised is a help, obviously. What does it mean to kind of have that almost adulation?
Yeah.
So someone that they all are like, this can't happen to David Norris.
Yeah, no, it's choked me up at times. The fact that people have gone out their way to sign up someone to put their card details in to donate, no matter what it was. I honestly couldn't believe it because I think the average donation was £5-10. So to make that fee up, that's a lot of fans who have gone out of their way to support me. And yeah, it really meant a lot. Like I say, it was a difficult time, and it was hard as well because I didn't want a fuss. I didn't want it to happen initially. There's people out there worse off than me, so I was a little bit embarrassed by that side of things. But then, with the support, it gave me a boost. It was a difficult time, and knowing that there were people out there that liked me and wanted to do that for me based on what they were saying and what I'd done for them and their clubs, it made me feel really good and give me a really good boost at a difficult time. So I had to swallow my ego and what I didn't want people to find out, to just accepting that the fans are trying to help you here, and accept it and enjoy it. And like I say, it's been emotional at times because of it's been overwhelming just what they've done.
Well, it obviously is done because of what you did as a player and what you represented. So let's talk about that for a bit, and from an Argyle persuasion. So, it's over 15 years since you pulled on an Argyle shirt, but what is being back here like for you? Was it conjure up?
Yeah, it's incredible. I mean, I have such a close affinity with the club, even though it doesn't feel that long, but it has been so long. I still get a lot of interaction on my social medias. There's still a lot of friends, a lot of ex-teammates I'm still in touch with, which probably hasn't happened at any of the other clubs I've been at. And I was here a long time. And I said, before I'm just driving in today, I've come down with the kids, and I just started smiling on my way down. And what you smiling at? And I'd said nothing. What you smiling at? And I was coming in the same route that I would on a match day. And I got a little nervous tingling of a match day feeling. It just made me laugh. And then we drive past the ground, and it brings back so many good memories for me. At such a good time. Luckily, we were successful, season after season while I was here. And so, yeah, this club and being back here, it's it's really good for me, you know, like especially with, like I say, finishing football and some of the things that have happened. This just makes me feel so good seeing people and knowing what people think of me. You know, it's really nice.
Yeah. What is it also like coming back to Argyle in the Championship as well? Because, you know, as I said, 15 or so years since you played for Argyle. It's 13 years since we were relegated from that league and obviously went into financial turmoil as well. So back where you were with Argyle.
Yeah, brilliant. And it's where they should be. It's a big enough club, it's a big enough place, a big enough city. It should be in the Championship. But, I mean, I'm sure that, you know, despite having to go down to where the depths have been and then almost not even being a club anymore, I'm sure, you know, there's been some right ups and downs, and just to have still been a club, even if it was, you know, League One or League Two, just to still be going, I think was the main thing at certain times. But to see where they are now, coming back now, and the whole place has changed. The stand looks great. The surrounding facilities are great. There's still more being done. It's a proper Championship club where, you know, it probably wasn't when I was here in that way off the pitch. But it's so good to see him back in the Championship.
You'll be having a chat on the pitch at half-time. Obviously, every side of the ground will be hopefully cheering you. But are you looking forward to that? Yeah, as you said, two of your old teams back out on home park-ish again.
Yeah. No, that's nice. I did it last time I was here, and it's really nice. And like you say, with having, you know, two teams that I have got, you know, an affection for. I did enjoy my time at Ipswich. It started off a bit tough for me. I think I struggled with the transfer fee, but I gave my all there, and I think I left on, you know, good terms. I was captain. I finished top goal scorer. I think I got the Players' Player of the Year. So I had some good times there, and I did enjoy my time there. So yeah, two clubs that I can, you know, have a close affection to and affinity with, and both, you know, playing each other in the Championship. It's perfect.
We're on Argyle TV, so if you want a side to win, which way are you going to go?
Well, what can I say then? No, I'll say that I was here longer. I have a bit more of an affection here, and so I will be happy with the draw.
Yeah, we know you don't believe that. Yeah. Good to have you back and great to chat to you, David.
Thank you very much.
Of course, we would have loved to have had David with us today, but he is a very busy man. Great to see him back here at Home Park, though. Now, March is Prostate Cancer Awareness Month, and Argyle are doing their bit to help fans check their health. The club, in partnership with men's cancer charity The Chestnut Appeal, are hosting a free clinic at the ground today. Prostate cancer is the most common cancer in men, with more than 52,000 men being diagnosed with it every year and 12,000 men dying from the disease every year.
March is Prostate Awareness Month, and we would like to talk to you about your health.
More than 52,000 men in the UK are diagnosed with prostate cancer every year.
That's 144 men every single day.
1 in 8 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer in their lifetime.
For some, there are no symptoms.
But with a simple blood test, you can find out if you are at risk.
It could be your dad,
husband,
your brother,
granddad,
or son.
It could be your friend.
It could be you.
There's no clear cause to prostate cancer, but there are some risk factors.
If prostate cancer is in your family history,
age, as men get older, have an increased risk of prostate cancer.
And ethnicity, black men have a much higher risk at developing this type of cancer.
If you're age 50 and over,
or 45 years with the higher risk factors mentioned,
you'll be eligible for a free blood test.
And can find out more via the link on the screen.
It's easy to think that it won't happen to you.
And please think of your health, as this simple test could put your mind at rest.
The away day. A shared passion and commitment. 12,000 miles across the season. Unforgettable memories, past players, the goals. waiting players, supporters, young and old, capturing the moment, living the dream. Green Army belting out the genocide. The stands, the shirts, the drum beats, the surging crowd moving as a giant wave. Crusaders, one and all. The Green Army.
An absolutely fantastic initiative, and if you hadn't had time to go and get checked today and it's something you're concerned about, do make sure you get that looked into, please. Now, you are watching the Argyle TV pre-match show this afternoon, and it's our old friend Ipswich Town in the blue corner today. Both ourselves and Ipswich battled it out for the title in Sky Bet League 1 last season, and of course, although it was Argyle that came out on top, it's Ipswich who are in the lead today. They are chasing their way for a back-to-back promotion, and their manager, Kieran McKenna, is trying to keep everyone focused.
They're coming off the back of a good win last weekend against Middlesbrough, really good performance as well, and deserved the points, and showed the threat that they can be with the quality that they have, with the transitions that they can produce. So yeah, we expect a tough game. We know there's a good atmosphere there, and it's the home record is good, but we're looking forward to it. It's a team of a group of players that we know well, of course, some new players on both sides as well, but we'll respect their threats. We know what their strengths are, and other than that, we'll focus on ourselves and make sure that we impose ourselves on the game as well as we possibly can, and go and try and hurt them as much as we can and try and win the game.
Two of their threats, Morgan Whittaker and Ryan Hardy, I think they've combined for 29 goals in the league this season. Of course, that's a very strong record. Just wondering how you kind of stifle certain threats while also respecting the opponent as a whole.
Yeah, well, I think that's the case every week with the strength of the division. Every team has some very good individuals, and Plymouth are no exception. Those two who you mentioned, of course, are players that we know really well, that we've faced before. We know full well the threats that they have. They've shown that against us in the games as well. So yeah, we'll try and counteract that in the best way that we see possible, while, as you said, also keeping true to ourselves and our threats and the ways that we can go and hurt teams as well. So yeah, they've got good individual players. They brought in some more good players in January as well. Ian's got them in a good place last weekend defensively, and showed really good organisation against, of course, a very strong Middlesbrough team. So we know as a team and as individual players, they will have our full respect. But we'll go there and also try and do what we do well, and do everything we can to hopefully pick up some points.
Perhaps on the outside, people look at the table, there's a little bit of gap between the two sides, but that would be a very naive approach of us if we were to think about that, wouldn't it?
Of course it would. You see it every week in the Championship. I think if we haven't learned that this many games in, then we probably never will. Just every week there's the games, they don't respect the league table. Every game is hard fought, especially the away games are really, really difficult to go and win. So we have to focus on our performance, try and perform as well as we possibly can. Again, respect the opponent, but go and try and deliver a performance and take care of as many details as we possibly can, control what we can control, and do enough of those things well, and we know that we'll be competitive in the game, and then hope that we can find a way to get the margins to go on our side.
Again, we saw last season their fans make their voices heard, but we've got a sold-out away end as well, and that's important in long trips like this, isn't it? Yeah,
that's been fantastic, I have to say, in all the away games. I think was Swansea the last one, and was a terrific atmosphere from start to finish. Millwall very similar, and the away support's been fantastic. So we know it's a long travel on Saturday, and look, we'll again endeavour to give our very best to try and make it a good trip. But having that support behind us, especially when you go into stadiums that they do create a good atmosphere as well. So having noise and support from our away fans is going to be massive.
Are you in any way surprised by Ipswich's form this season, Ian?
I think perhaps the surprise is that they've been able to sustain it. For so long. many games into the season now, and they're still at the top of the table, competing with teams that have come down, with Premiership budgets, Premiership parachute payments. So it's a huge achievement just to be where they are. I think at this stage in the season. In terms of a surprise, they were obviously had a successful year last year. Argyle did incredibly well to finish above them, I think, across last year. But the fact that they've been able to kind of keep the squad together and add to it, with real quality, I think has also been a huge benefit to them.
Yeah, when you look at the stats, pretty amazing achievement considering only promoted last season. Won their last 4 matches, scored in injury time 4 of the last 5 matches, and mixing it with Southampton, Leeds and Leicester, who, as you mentioned, really big clubs. Do you think they can stick it out for the duration of the whole season?
I think it would be a huge achievement if they do. What they've demonstrated up to this point is that they can, go on a run of games and keep winning points. As you say, those late goals in games can be real confidence boosters as well as putting points on the board. Yeah. And there's also a lot to be said for maintaining the momentum of a successful season. So they've been able to take last year's performances and really carry them into this year.
Yeah. It does make you wonder a little bit when you look at the run that Ipswich are on, kind of vying for potential promotion into the Premier League. If the tables were turned and that was Argyle right now, and we were looking at a prospect of Argyle getting into the Premier League, I mean, it would be unbelievable, wouldn't it? But it just shows it is possible. Not for us this season, but I think it could be within Argyle's foreseeable future.
Yeah, they've got it's a really good club. They've got great support as well. Slightly bigger stadium from Argyle, so I'm sure from a revenue perspective they do benefit from that. Yeah. And in Kieran McKenna, they've got again one of the most highly rated young managers around. He's clearly very considered in the approach he takes, and that success has been in evident from when he took over there. So they've done really well to get where they are, and as you say, they'll be looking to sustain that if they can. But hopefully Argyle can stick a little spanner in the works of that today.
Yeah, we do of course want Argyle to put a stop to their run this afternoon, and they already did leave it quite late to get a 4th win in a row, 3-1 over Birmingham City, and here are the best bits from that game.
Delivering the dramatic, certainly doing it the difficult way. Ipswich Town look to be firing on all cylinders once more. Tuesday night's incredible 4-3 win over Rotherham means it's 3 victories on the bounce now for Kieran McKenna's side. Burns inside for Chaplin. Into Kiefer Moore, through on goal. Rather spoons his effort over the bar. Big balls up from the back. Strolled in towards the box. Chaplin! Denied well by John Ruddy. A free header for Connor Chaplin. Back into the melting pot it comes. Birmingham smother lines clear. Out to the right-hand side. Amari Hutchison on for the injured Wes Burns. It's Morsey! Deflected off Connor Chaplin. Over halfway. Yoshi charging down the right side for Birmingham. Opportunity here, cut back. Jordan James! It's 1-1. A rare foray forward for the visitors. Brings a goal on the stroke of half-time. Settle for Sarmiento. And now a chance for Birmingham City to spring forward. It's Stansfield, saved just by Haladki. Now Morsey, now Hutchison again. Twan Zabi offering an overlapping run. Cut back, Sarmiento! Ipswich have done it. The goal that was coming. They are still very much alive in this promotion race. Flicked on into the path of Hutchinson. Amari Hutchison through on goal to make sure. Flipping delightful. That's it. Ipswich keep pace in the promotion race. 3 goals, 3 points.
We are getting closer to kick-off now on Argyle TV. Remember, you can still get your match streaming passes over on the website, and there's more to come after this.
'Cause every time we touch, I get this feeling, and every time we kiss, I swear I could fly. Can't you feel my heart beat fast? I want this to last. Need you by my side. 'Cause every time we touch, I feel the static, and every time we kiss, I reach for the sky. Can't you hear my heart beat so? I can't let you go. Want you in my life.
Argyle are looking to get their 9th home win of the season and build on last weekend's impressive away performance against Middlesbrough. So let's remind ourselves of the team news, which is on screen for you now. For Argyle, we have in goal Connor Hazard. Wearing the captain's armband this afternoon, Jordan Houghton. Julio Pleguezuelo, Ryan Hardy, Morgan Whittaker, Mikel Miller, Lewis Gibson, Darko JB, Adam Randall, Brendan Galloway and Matthew Sorinola. And on the subs bench, Mike Cooper, Barley Mumba, Lino Souza, Joe Edwards, Mustafa Bundu, Alfie Devine, Ben Wayne, Ashley Phillips and Adam Forshaw. Ian, strong team in there.
No, unchanged. It's great for a manager, I think, when he has a full squad to choose from, and yet is able to make a decision to pick a winning team and a team that kept a clean sheet in their last time out, and hopefully Argyle can bring that form back to home park.
Yeah, we've had a few injuries in recent weeks, so really nice that he's got a whole kind of breadth and depth of squad to choose from today, especially when you've got opposition like Ipswich.
Definitely, the change in the rules on substitutions this year means that bench is almost even more vital than it has been in previous years. You can really make a number of changes that can really shift the momentum in the game and shift the direction of the game. And despite players not being in the starting 11 today, I'm sure Argyle will need those substitutes to have an impact today.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure we'll see them. Ipswich Town's starting lineup for you now then, and they have in goal Ladke, behind him Leif Davis, Sam Morsey wearing the captain's armband, Luke Wolfenden, Connor Chaplin, Cameron Burgess, Amari Hutchinson, Jeremy Sarmiento, Kiefer Moore, Lewis Travis and Axel Twinsabe. Substitutes bench, Christian Walton, Harry Clark, George Edmondson, Marcus Harness, Dominic Ball, Jack Taylor, Ali Al-Hamadi, Caden Jackson and Cameron Humphreys. Very quickly, Ian, I know you said missing a couple of key players there out of injuries, but again, formidable opponents.
They are. They've really got an abundance of attacking options, and Sarmiento and Hutchinson coming in. They came on in the last game. They'll be dangerous, and also Connor Chaplin has obviously been able to recover from the injury he took, so along with Kiefer Moore in forward areas, they are really strong.
Yeah, expecting to see some goals from them today, I think, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, Argyle can be confident. They kept the clean sheet last week. No reason why they can't today. They'll be tested on that for sure, yeah. But hopefully Argyle can trouble Ipswich at the other end and give them plenty to think about defensively themselves.
Mm-hmm. And of course, we've got to factor in the fact that Ipswich are coming here to home park. We know the reputation that home park holds. When you can probably hear watching the music starting to build around us, the crowd is here. It's a tough place to come to and try and put some goals past the home team.
It is, and they'll know the dangers that Argyle have. In Ryan Hardy and Morgan Whittaker in particular, some of the best attacking players in the league. Objectively in terms of goals scored, but the danger they can offer on that counter attack is really significant. So fingers crossed Argyle can get them in the game today.
Absolutely. Well, we've got the final bit of build-up coming up next. we have just enough time to get some final thoughts from the Argyle camp now. And here is first team coach Kevin Nanscoville speaking with Charlie Price.
Nance, our old favourites, Ipswich Town, back at home park again. We've had some real battles with them over the last couple of seasons, haven't we?
Yeah, we certainly have. Had some great games last season and the season before that. So looking forward to another good game, albeit in different circumstances, but it should be another cracker.
Yeah, I mean, is there surprise amongst you guys about how well they have done this year?
No, not really. Kieran's a fantastic young manager. They've got a good squad, an excellent team. So they had the momentum and they've carried that on and they're having a terrific season.
Let's just have a quick talk about our team then. Can you talk us through it?
Yeah, it's the same team that played against Middlesbrough. We had a good away win, kept the clean sheet, so we don't see any reason to change it today.
Yeah, it makes sense, doesn't it, to kind of try and build on that momentum coming into this one?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we've got a full squad, everyone's fit and available, so there's lots of competition for places, but like I said, the ones that started the game at Middlesbrough deserve the right to start again today.
Yeah, just to end on, it's been quite a while since we've won here at Home Park, which is a rare thing. How much are you guys hoping that you can give the supporters a win again here?
Yeah, we want to put right what wasn't right against West Brom in the last home game. We realised we didn't play as we'd like to have, so we're desperate to put that right, get 3 points, put on a good show and show our supporters what we're really all about.
Let's have a quick look at the other games being played around the Championship then. We already had West Brom and Coventry yesterday. That one finished 2-1 and it was 1-0 to Cardiff City against Bristol in the early kick-off today. Likewise, early kick-off between Huddersfield and Leeds and that ended 1-1. Leaders Leicester host struggling QPR and the bottom two play in a Yorkshire derby as Rotherham host Sheffield Wednesday and Middlesbrough are looking to bounce back as they travel to none other than Stoke. So we'll be keeping up to date on all of the scores throughout the rest of the afternoon so we can bring you everything as it happens. And right now we're pretty much ready to go here on Argyle TV, just under 10 minutes until kick-off. A reminder that your match passes are available if you haven't got them already over on the website. Charlie Price and Katie Middleton are standing by for commentary duty. Ian, thank you very much for being here this afternoon. We'll catch up with you at half-time. It is Argyle versus Ipswich up next.